I feel this uneasy feeling in my gut, but if I address it, I will lose my picture. But now that I'm already way too invested, I desperately need him to be the one. Any man that comes along and that's offering you even the tiny bit of what you're actually looking for when you don't feel like you're good enough on your own. Hey guys, it's Jermaine and welcome to my channel. If this is your first time on my channel, I just want to say welcome. My name is Jermaine. I make videos about the fat acceptance, fat liberation, body positive movement. I share with you guys my thoughts in this community, how they influenced my life back when I was extremely obese. I believe all their mantras, all their nonsense teaching, motivational speeches about how I was beautiful and I didn't need to change. My body was perfect just the way it was. While meanwhile, I was suffering and I had so much of body pain. I was on my way to getting diabetes. And of course, fat acceptance never talked about that. So one day I had a revelation. I changed my life. I'm now on this side making videos exposing this community and how I believe they're a cult and they're out to kill everyone. Because they don't tell you the dark side, they only tell you all the nice things. So if you would like to hear my take on stuff, it may sometimes be controversial. Not everyone might agree with me, but these are my thoughts based on my experience. As somebody who has been affected by this community, I say what I need to say based on my own experience. You don't have to always agree with me, that's totally fine, but it's what I do. So if you'd like to hear me talk about this stuff, then you might want to subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell because I upload videos at least once a week. And if you're returning to my channel, I just want to say, welcome back. Thank you for clicking on this video. Thank you for being a part of my little family here on YouTube. I love you guys and appreciate you so much. Today's video, I'm going to be discussing a very hot topic that has been like circulating the internet. Everyone's been talking about it. Everyone's been making videos about it. And it's about this TikToker named Risa Tessa who made a video where she shared her experience of what it was like being married to a pathological liar. She named him Legion in her story. Actually, videos out there where this guy Legion had responded to whatever this Tessa says, and he just confirmed everything this Tessa person said to be true. If you want to hear the full story of her story, the title of it is called Who the F Did I Marry? She made like a 50-part story on TikTok. I was listening to it like while I was cleaning the house or cook. I would always be listening to it and I finished that because it's so entertaining. Like, sometimes you can learn so much from these stories, not just about the other person, but also about yourself. I realized a couple of things that we can learn to protect ourselves from this kind of situation, and I thought of discussing it on my video today. Let me just give you a little summary about Risa's story. But if you want to go check out the story, I'll put the link, the 50-part video link in the description box below. You can go watch it at your own time. But I also know Michelle McDaniel made a video where she kind of summarized this story as well for people who didn't want to watch the 7th part. I'll also put Michelle McDaniel's video in the description box if you want to go check out. I will give you some context before I get into what I want to talk about so that this video makes sense. But if you want to hear the full story, the details and all the juice, then you can go and check those links out and hear it for yourself. Risa Tessa is this woman who met this guy online.
So I met my ex-husband around March 4th of 2020. We met on Facebook dating site and we also matched on Hinge. I did not realize that he was on both under two different names. So one was his actual name and the other one was a variation, like a nickname that he called himself. Different pictures. So it was a running joke between us. Oh, you didn't even recognize that you had matched with me on Hinge. No, I didn't. And also that should have been a red flag. By the way, you will notice in this story, I called it the United Nations of red flags. It is so many red flags that, I mean, you would have thought I was colorblind because I ignored all of them.
And very quickly they got into like a pretty serious relationship because of COVID. They were quarantined together, and then she realized along the way that a lot of things about him was not true like he said it was. If you know what I'm talking about, then great, but this video is basically for people who don't know any context of this story. Basically, he would promise her things like, I'm going to buy a house for us, and then they would go look at houses, and then once she's like all in, he would pretend as if he's like signed the papers, but then nothing would happen, and this would happen a couple of times. Same thing with a car. He would promise her a car and then take her to go and test drive the car and stuff like that. Like, there was all this high and low where she would get really excited believing that he was going to get her this thing, and then like it doesn't work out.
So at this point, I had test driven all these cars. Kias, hell, he even had me test drive a Nissan Murano, but the main two were BMW and an Audi. He had told my grandfather he was getting me a car. He had told my aunt he was getting me a car. That he was going to, he was like, she's going to be my wife. I want her to be in something secure. What he told me is that the car is going to be delivered to the house. So he's asking me, can you work a half day so that they can deliver the car and you will be home for it? I said, yes, that's fine. I said, it's 3 o'clock. No one ever came with the car. What's going on? I will be honest, and I told y'all I'll be honest even when it makes me look bad. I was guilty of On one hand, I believed him, and on the other hand, I was like, let me see what lie he come up with. Let me just see.
At the end of it, she finds out that the guy's got no money. He's been lying to her about everything, not just about money, but he's been lying to her about like his family and everything. Like everybody that he mentioned in his family was not real. He was cheating on her, just all this whole bunch of stuff. Basically, this guy was a scrub. So he was a scrub, but on top of that, he was a pathological liar. Like, can you just pick one way to be a loser? Why do you need to pick them all? Today's video, I'm going to give you my might be unpopular opinion about the main character in the story, because I relate a lot to her, especially back when I was obese and insecure and didn't know my self-worth. I'm not victim blaming in this video. I totally agree that Risa is a victim in this story. There is absolutely no way that she's lying, because even he basically came out and the stuff he was saying, just like it seemed as if he was going to like expose her, but he actually kind of just proved even more that everything she said was true. I 100% believe that she's a victim. I'm not saying that she was insecure or had no self-worth. I'm saying that in general, I believe that a lot of women who get into situations that Risa got into stems from having insecurity and having no self-worth. And I'm going to tell you why I think that, because yours truly was also in similar situations. Not as bad as Risa. I never went to a place where I was like in a serious relationship, in love, going to get married, all these kind of things. No. As somebody who's had my fair share of toxic dating, I just thank God that he never allowed me to go into a deep emotional tie situation. Okay, wait, I have gone to a deep emotional tie situation, but he's never allowed me to make serious relationship decisions with anybody who I shouldn't be having serious relationships with, and I thank God for that. Having heard Risa's story, I can imagine how someone can get into a situation like that. I definitely feel bad for what she had to go through, but I'm the type of person that whenever like something like this happens, I always like to think, even if when something like this happened to myself, like I always like to think about, where did I go wrong first? And how did I get myself into this situation before, because I have high expectations of myself. Before I can think about, oh, how dare this person do this to me? This person's a horrible person. I always like to think about the first, how did I get into this situation? Even Risa did admit that she herself didn't recognize the person that she was when she was in this situation. Even she was like, how did I get into this situation? Risa herself definitely did take a moment to do some self-reflection as well, for sure. And at the core, I always say and I always believe that women with low self-esteem are easy targets. She had mentioned in that video that on their first date, they already started talking about like marriage and what they want and stuff like that, which is, I think, as somebody who's 31 years old, when I go on dates, that's what I'm thinking about. Obviously, I'm saying like, if there's no potential in marrying this person, like what am I even doing dating you? You know what I mean? Risa did mention in her video as well that one of her biggest concern was her age and her weight. She was overweight and she feared that if she were to get pregnant, how she can lose her pregnancy. She was talking about that in a different context, because along the way she got pregnant, and she was worried that she would not be able to handle the pregnancy because of her weight and her age, and she was worried that she would lose the baby. The fact that she even mentioned that means that is something that she's already been thinking about. She's always had that in her back of her mind. In the back of her mind, she realized that she's very self-aware of her weight, she's very self-aware of her age, and she's very focused on, I need to find somebody to settle down with quick.
My radar was broken because I am an intelligent woman, and I know that I know better. And I still sometimes ask myself, how the fuck did you let this happen? How did you let this be your story? All because at the time I wanted it to be my turn. And I hoped it was my turn. I just meant, we all see it, whether it's social media or real life, we all see where the woman she done been through some stuff, but she finally met someone who appreciates, loves, and respects her. And it is a beautiful thing. I had hoped that when I met him, it was my turn for that. And the cost of that decision was heavy.
And I feel like men, or even just people in general, can smell that urgency. They can tell that you are kind of desperate and you want that picture, especially when they know that your dating pool is very small and might not be as big as somebody who's more attractive or younger. If you're a woman out there Come on, you have to agree with me on this. Like, especially if you're somebody who's been overweight before, you know what that's like. Your dating pool is so much more different. I hardly ever got approached or talked to by guys back when I was obese. And then now my dating pool is different. Although I'm a little bit older, losing weight not just made me look better, but it also gave me a whole lot of confidence, and people can kind of sense that. And then your dating pool also changes because you attract different type of people now. I'm not saying Risa is ugly, don't get me wrong, okay? But she's no Rihanna or like Zendaya. Like, neither am I. But if you're not working on becoming like the best version of yourself, you're not focusing on being the best you're not focused on improving yourself, any man that comes along and that's offering you even the tiny bit of what you're actually looking for, you ignore all the baggage or red flags that may come with it. You ignore your intuition. And I believe like every girl, like you have that intuition. I believe even guys have it. For me, I call it the Holy Spirit, making you feel or telling you like, nah, this ain't it. Something's off here. Don't be desperate, girl. If you listen to her story, from hearing her talk, you can tell that she herself knew that he was a walking red flag.
I called it the United Nations of red flags. It is so many red flags that, I mean, you would have thought I was colorblind because I ignored all of them.
She was desperate to be what she wanted them to be and was afraid that if she walked out now, she would lose whatever it is that she had imagined or wanted or had always planned. She was concerned that she might not get this chance again.
Probably made his eyes go, oh shit, she's a keeper. She got this 3-bedroom, 2.5-bath townhouse, and I'm in like a little studio. Yeah, let me go ahead and pursue this. What I need to do to quarantine here. The decision was made, quarantine at my house. So the state went on lockdown. He came and stayed with me. The reason why I hesitate is because I grew up in the church. So for me, it was really like an internal struggle of, bruh, you always said you would never live with a guy unless he was your husband. And now you living with a dude and he ain't your husband. Like, it was a struggle for me. Because I knew better.
I feel like she compromised and gave in, and she went against her values and beliefs because of the fear of losing him or the fear of this not working out. But he was no prize, and deep down she definitely knew that. Because when you don't see the value in yourself, when you don't put yourself first, you don't have enough self-love or self-esteem. You cling on to the scrapes of validation that someone else is giving you. And bear in mind, guys, I am not shaming her because I myself have been in these situations as well. Not as bad as her, I've said, but definitely in situations where I fell for these things. Guys who are not treating me the best, I cover up with the fact, but then he does this though. But then he buys me food and he takes care of me in this way and that way. Instead of looking at, no, look at the whole picture. Don't just pick the tiny things and ignore all the other bigger stuff. I've been in these situations. I always believe the worst time to be in a relationship is when you have no self-worth. When you don't feel like you're good enough on your own. You feel like you need this picture in order for you to be happy, for your life to be fulfilled. This picture needs to be complete or you won't be happy. So instead of working on yourself, improving your life, improving your looks, improving your skills, your health, things like that, doing things that bring you joy, maybe serving in your church, serving in your community, meeting new people, and not just hunt for the perfect picture. You're searching just for that one person because he'll make me happy and he'll complete that picture that I created. And then clearly all the signs are there that he's not the one. But now that I'm already way too invested, I desperately need him to be the one, no matter what it takes. I need to ignore the lies. Okay, I'll do that. I need to go against my values and beliefs. Okay, I'll do that. I need to lower my standards. Okay, sure. I feel this uneasy feeling in my gut, but if I address it, I will lose my picture. So you keep pushing through, you keep staying, you keep letting it happen, and then you end up here. As I said, what happened to Risa can happen to anybody. And for me, as a woman who's been through my fair share of putting myself in situations that I didn't want to be in, but because I'm so afraid that I would lose this person validates me, this person makes me feel beautiful, this person wants me. And the desperation of making it happen, trying to see something that isn't even there. And I feel like, I don't know why, but we as a woman, we always are like this. Like we always try to make something happen, or we try to like create this thing in our head that isn't even there. I feel like when you know your worth, you're so busy working on yourself, you're trying to be the best version of yourself, you don't put up with this stuff. As soon as you realize like, nah, this is affecting my purpose, this is affecting me as a person, I'm not changing my values, I'm not changing my beliefs, or I see red flags, I feel like, nah, the lying. She mentioned how like the first time the house fell through, the car thing fell through, and still she believed that he was going to buy them a house again. After the first time with the house and then another time with the car, like really, you still believe? Or even like one of it was he bought her tickets to go to Paris apparently for her birthday. Like, I don't know how do you still keep believing it, because you know. But at the same time, I'm not in it. I'm not exactly in her spot, so I don't know like what was going through her mind or how she was able to believe again, or maybe the things he might have told her that made her switch and made her believe. But I feel like that's already too far in, and as a girl sometimes, even when you go on dates, you already can tell. And it's so scary that when you are desperately believing that someone else is going to make me happy, someone else is going to fill this picture and everything is going to be good after that, instead of just being happy now and being the best version of yourself now. Because I don't believe that you have to have this empty spot and then someone else comes and fill it. I believe that you should be whole, and then someone else who is also whole comes and join with you, and then you both like just soar and excel together. But I don't believe someone else should complete you, because if someone's completing you, that means you on your own, you think you're not enough just by yourself. And that's a bit scary, because then if you're not enough by yourself, when someone else comes and then you have so much expectation on that person making you feel full and together, and your happiness is completely on that person, like that's a lot of pressure. I don't want that. Don't stress me out. I've got enough problems on my own. Also, recently something made me think about how when you meet somebody, because I'm the kind of person that when I meet someone or when I'm dating, I don't change the way that I am. Like if I am the kind of person who love taking care of my family, if I meet someone and I'm dating someone, I'm very quick, especially when I feel like, okay, it's going towards a serious side, I'm very quick to be like, okay, I'm gonna take care of you too and do the things that I do. I don't change, or I don't hold myself back. And that's very scary to me if I don't feel like the other person is also giving or meeting the same energy. And so recently I started to like realize that, hey, you really need to take a step back and see whether is the other person also investing. It means I always make sure that I feel like the person is really into me and not just like, yeah, I like you, but whatever. No, like the person's really into me. Like I know you're really, really into me and I already like you. I'm like giving. Then I realized that, wait, but you're not doing anything like taking care of me the way I'm taking care of you. Not the exact way, but like in the masculine way, you know, like if you're not, then like I'm just like, then what am I doing? Recently I just started thinking about like how you need to make sure the other person matches the same energy. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. I feel like this video is a bit all over the place. I don't know if it's structured. I hope it comes out the way I'm imagining it to come out.
It was the time and effort that he spent in taking me to dealerships and being sure to put me in the car and test drive the car and, you know, oh, I can see you in this. I like this for you. It seems safe. It was the effort to really make me believe that he was going to get this just for him to fuck with me. If there is a woman out there who's like, God, you know, I want to be married and I met this guy and something don't seem right, but, you know, maybe it's not that bad. My advice is, honey, just go ahead and do your research, because I can honestly tell you, being single sucks, okay? In my opinion, sometimes it sucks, but being married to the wrong person is a type of hell no one should have to go through.
But anyway, let me know what you guys think about this Risa Tessa story. Let me know what you guys think about this video. Do you agree with me, or do you think, or even if you think like, no, there's more to it, Jermaine, than just this, let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and hit that notification bell, because I upload new videos at least once a week. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram and on TikTok. The links are in the description box below, and I'll see you guys in my next video.